Greetings and salutations. I'm Kes,
And I'm Becca.
and welcome to Act 4. And today we are going back to college, but not for the 3 hour long classes or the shady frat parties or the random clubs, but rather to go undercover to spot out the bromance. Because today we are going to be talking about 22 Jump Street.
So, this initial section focuses on our opinions. So, we'll begin by summarizing the movie and then provide our thoughts on it. Basically, after navigating high school twice, police officers Schmidt and Jenko face major changes as they go undercover at a local college. So, first of all, Jenko finds a kind of raw kindred spirit on the football team, while Schmidt delves into the bohemian art scene. And basically, as they immerse themselves in their new roles, they begin to question their partnership and they begin to question everything. So the movie was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and it was written by Michael Bacco, Oren Uziel, and Rodney Rothman. In the cast, we can find Jonah Hill as Smith, Channing Tatum as Jenko, etc., etc., etc. So, Cass, well, I forgot to say, by the way, people, the movie is a comedy movie. So basically, everything they say is made for laughter. So, Cass, what are your initial thoughts on the movie?
First of all, let me just say, I think the first movie was great. And I feel like, I don't know, I wasn't there around that time and I don't know like how it happened, but it low-key felt like they were kind of forced to do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, give us 22 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, or whatever, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I think like it's literally the most genius meta movie to ever like exist.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's probably some better ones, but like I don't know because every time they were talking like kind of like breaking the fourth wall, and
Mm-hmm.
to me that's very genius. I love that.
Mm-hmm. I really, honestly, I agree with you because I feel like they really did well with exploiting the fact that 21 Jump Street was a wild success. So, like, going with 22 Jump Street is like a way to like segue and like follow that like fame that the first movie brought. And I mean, the second movie was good as well. For me, I'd say the only some things that didn't work, for example, was the jokes, because some jokes were really really good and they worked really really well, whereas others I was like, yeah, you know what I mean, like it's like
Yeah.
repetitive. They like said the same jokes over and over again but like in different ways sometimes. So like at some points it became like a bit like didn't do anything for me, but the jokes that hit really hit.
Did you
Mm-hmm.
did you laugh at the "My name is Jeff"?
Yes, and you want to know what? That's something that I wrote like as a memorable line. I was like, that's
Oh
so
yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah.
My name Jeff.
Honestly, yo, Channing Tatum, what like he is so good. I don't know if like some of the things he said were scripted or not, or like
Hmm.
were all scripted, but it's
Hmm.
like it's so like you don't expect it, and because of that it's like funny, you
Yes,
know,
it
to me
was.
that's yeah, like there were a lot of things that he said that I was like, oh my god. Anyways, yep,
Yeah, it was
loved
really
it.
good. Like, yeah, yeah, and I think he like really embodied his character, which like honestly, before 21 Jump Street, maybe I wouldn't have thought, because like he had a whole different persona, and then you see him like as a funny guy who's able to like deliver jokes.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be able to deliver jokes is a thing, but to be able to deliver jokes in a way that make people laugh is like another level, you know?
Not everyone can be funny. I think that overall the movie is a great like parody of sequels because when a movie does good for the first one, everybody expects, you know, bigger budget or like bigger like cast or like better roles, better script, more
Mm-hmm.
like action or whatever. And to me, like especially when the like one of the first scenes where they were like, "Oh, we're going back to like the Jump Street headquarters if you want,"
Mm-hmm.
and it was just across the street. And then
Yeah.
Ice Cube's character was like, "Yeah," and then you know the next one is just right there. You know, I feel like it's like I love when movies are like so like self aware, and to me, it's like it made the movie so great.
Well, I agree. And like the most self-aware thing that they did was at the end when they made like
Oh,
10
yeah.
promos for like
I
10
loved
different
it.
movies.
Honestly, I feel like they were kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but they were kind of saying, oh yeah, like okay, I don't want to get too deep because it's a comedy movie. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
deep at all about it. But
Mm-hmm.
when like people like something, they just want more of it. And they were
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I feel like they were kind of making fun of it. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
next 23 Jump Street, we're going to like culinary class. Let's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go. You know?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, but I mean
Great.
it was a comedy movie, and I mean the things for example about like Schmidt and Jenko being too old for college, it's like it's
Yeah.
such a fantasy because in real life people can be like in college at like 40, 50, 60. It doesn't really matter. You can be like over the age of 20 and be in college, you know? So that was something that I found really funny because they were
Yeah.
playing into like Schmidt being too old or Jenko being too old, looking like a whole dad, a grown ass man. But I'm like, a lot of grown ass people go to college. What do you mean? But yeah.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing is that in the first movie, no one acknowledged the fact that they literally looked 30 years older than everybody else.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. When they
suddenly,
were in
when they
high
are
school, when they were in
exactly,
high school, I understand. Like, yeah, I don't understand. But in college, yeah.
yeah, like no one talked about them looking a little old for high school, but for college,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that was definitely a good moment. But honestly, which one did you prefer though? The first, or like all meta aside, like all the jokes, the action, the story in general, which one did you prefer? For 21 or 22?
I don't know. I've seen people being
Oh,
able to say which one they prefer. Like for me, the thing is, I didn't go into the movie like comparing it to the first one. I just went into the movie for a
okay.
good laugh. So I don't really want to compare them, honestly. Like I know they're the same people and everything, but I mean, the backstory is not the same, and for me, it's just like not comparable. But what about you?
Well, I'm not a fan of sequels in general, which is why when this being good actually surprised me,
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time, every time, there's a sequel of a movie, it's like, because people set like some expectations based on the first movie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't meet those same expectations, or if it's not better than those expectations,
Mm-hmm.
people like are gonna be like, bad sequel. And to me,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad sequels. Maybe I do it
Yeah.
unconsciously because I wasn't trying to compare them either,
Mm-hmm.
but the first one
Yeah.
was funnier to me. The only
I
like
think a lot of
funny
people
thing,
do
yeah,
it unconsciously. Like, I think a lot of people, like, without even realizing, they're just like, oh, well, the first one hit home better. And I think that's just how it
yeah,
is. Yeah. It's
agreed,
like most of
agreed.
the settings. Yeah. But honestly, like, some scenes were just so funny. I mean, like, the
They were.
parents' weekend scene was
Oh
amazing.
my, wow.
That
Oh, you know
scene
what?
was
I
amazing.
I realized there's a lot of like TikTok audios that come from that movie, or
Mm-hmm.
that I've heard of that's from that movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
when he says, "What? Oh, wait, never mind. I'm gonna keep it for later
Okay.
because it's in."
Okay,
Anyways,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, don't worry. So that's what I really thought. Like, some scenes were really interesting and really funny. And I mean, I don't know if you do you know Queen Latifah?
yeah,
That took a second. Well, Queen Latifah, I feel like was such a like she is amazing, but she like her character was such a waste because she had like a few lines. So I was like, oh, and it was only in the weekend, the
yeah,
parents' weekend scenes. And I think one like joke that I personally did not like about the movie is like the prison rape jokes because I think that is not something that like should be laughed about. In the first movie, like I remember when like the guy, what's his name again? When he was like getting arrested, like he is famously known for like, oh, do you know what they do to handsome guys like me in prison?
oh yeah,
It rhymes with grape, you know, when he says that. It's
Yeah.
like funny because it's just like out of like the situation. But like
Yeah.
in 22 Jump Street, like they showed him being miserable and basically getting
Mm,
assaulted by like his prison mate, and they made a joke out of it. And I know it's supposed to be funny, but that joke did not sit right with me, you know?
mm.
Because
Honestly, I
like,
can get that. Yeah.
I mean, anyways, I just feel like it's not something like should be joked about, but I know it's like a comedy movie, so Becca, it's not that deep.
Yeah, I think they honestly, if it came out like in 2024, people would definitely be saying it's not that funny, you know? And I think
Mhm,
they expected it to come out as like lighthearted. Like, oh,
mhm.
haha, this is what's happening, but yeah, it's not funny at
Yeah,
all.
I mean, it did come out like as like hearted as they could have made it. It's just that I don't know, it's just a bit wrong, but for the sake of the movie, I get it.
Yeah.
I really do. But that's all I had to say. Do you have another other opinions or like something you wrote that is different? Okay. Well, with that being said, guys, we are moving on to the second segment. So, in this part, we'll explore the perspectives of reviewers on the movie. We'll examine feedbacks from platforms like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Letterboxd, and more. As of the day we're filming, which is the 16th of June of 2024, the movie is rated at an 84% tomato meter and 77% audience score. So, Kes, what is your first review?
All right. So the first review that I have says the end credits scene is genius. I really wish they made 23 Jump Street Medical School. Shame. I was not expecting the end credits, and honestly, like I said before, it felt like they were kind of making fun of like the people that were like, "Oh, but we want more." And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, "Look what everything that is coming to you guys."
Yeah.
And I
And
thought
then it
it was
never happened.
genius. Exactly. It was so
Yeah.
genius. I loved it.
Yeah. I agree. I do agree. They did well. So my first review says as memory whoa. It has more memorable jokes than the first. Cynthia, Jesus died for our Cynthia.
Oh my god. The slam poetry.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, props to
Exactly.
him because he came up with that on the spot. Could never be me.
Mm,
Oh,
improvising.
I really like the part where he's like, Emma Roberts. Emma Robert Hurts. Anyways, so the second one that I have says it is so metaphorical. And it's a play on word meta, like self-aware, and
uh
like, yep.
Metaphorical.
And
I get it.
yes, again, going back to what we said earlier, like being so self-aware. And I think that's really what made the movie like so good, because they were literally talking about how they're in a sequel with literally and figuratively bigger budget and like more
Yeah.
action scenes and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
it like perfectly did it. Like the
Yeah.
self-awareness perfectly did it. Big
Yeah, it was
fan.
perfect. Yeah, I agree. So my second review says, I want Ice Cube to shout at me to wash the dishes and get shit done. And I mean, it's so true because literally, if I want to like procrastinate and don't do anything, I would just like
Mm-hmm.
to listen to like Ice Cube on repeat being like, get up, do your dishes, and finish everything. You know, just
Yeah.
like he does it. It's like
Honestly, he's
amazing.
so amazing. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your last review?
I don't have a third one for that one. Sally.
Okay, so mine says a widely entertaining feel-good movie that not only rates as one of the best mainstream comedies of the year, but also one of the finest sequels you're likely to see. And I have to say, it is a good sequel.
It is.
I think for a lot of people, it does not like exceed the first movie, but if you compare it to plenty of sequels that we've seen throughout the years, this sequel was perfectly fine, you know?
Yep. Yep.
And I mean, for
Agreed.
someone who has never seen 21 Jump Street, watching 22 Jump Street is not that out of bound. You would be able to follow everything. Perfect. So that was it for our reviews today, guys. If you saw something that was really funny, or you have written something that is really funny, feel free to share. We always love to have a good laugh and read you guys. And with that being said, let's move on to the third segment.
So, for the third segment, we had to look at each character specifically and choose and pick the ones that we really liked and the ones that we think we would do a great job at portraying. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So, first, the character that I genuinely really liked and that made my day was Ice Cube's character, Captain Dixon. Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Because honestly, we didn't really get much of him in the first movie.
Yeah.
But like in the second one, I feel like without him, like there would be a lot of scenes that wouldn't be too funny. Or like if it was a
Yeah.
different person, I feel like it wouldn't hit the same than it did with Ice Cube. In the first movie, I
Yeah.
didn't really care, but yeah.
Yeah, he delivered the movies like the movies. He delivered the lines really, really well. And like he
Yes.
was really good at like for example, me, he caught me off guard sometimes with his lines, it was really funny. And like his
Yes.
over exaggeration of sometimes of
I agree.
certain things.
And
Yeah, I
his
agree.
face.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks angry all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, and for the character that I think that I could portray, I don't know like if it would be the same one from the first movie, but
Mm-hmm.
it would
Schmidt?
be Joan. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And actually for one specific reason, I feel like Schmidt uh he has no idea what he's talking about. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
just talking to talk, or as we say today, he's just yapping, just a bunch of
Yeah.
words. And you're like, what's the point of what you're even saying? And sometimes I feel like it's me. Like, I don't, sometimes for instance, right now, I'm talking, I don't even know where I'm going with the sentence. And
Yeah, I feel
honestly,
you.
him and I were close like this for that
Yeah, I
reason.
feel you.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel you. I
What
yap a
about
lot too.
you?
I get it.
Oh, exactly.
So, okay. So for me, I would like the character I would give an award to is basically Ice Cube's character as well because his one-liners were so funny and like he never missed. Like literally never missed. So I agree with you on that one. And the character I'd play, I think you'd be surprised because it's
Oh,
not
I'm
for the
scared.
reason. Yeah, it's not for the reason you think I would go for this character. So
Who is it?
basically,
Who
I
is it?
would like to play Mercedes. Like she wasn't a good person at the end, but like her
Yeah, no.
lines were so funny when she delivered
Oh,
them. Like you
honestly,
got
yeah.
99 problems, but being young isn't one.
So-
I mean,
oh, she was genuinely one of. Honestly, the whole movie is good.
she was
Everybody's
like,
funny.
and another line that like she said it that I found funny was like, I'm pretty close to my grandpa too.
Oh my god, what a
You know,
genius!
like she was really funny, and I was like, yes, she's a bad guy, but like I would like to play her just to be able to like deliver those lines.
Honestly, I agree.
Yeah,
And her just staring at them when they were
I
in
know.
funny,
I know
hilarious.
she was just like staring at them for hours and not moving.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Yeah. So that was it for today, guys. If you wanna give an award to someone or if you wanna play a character, who would you play? Who would you give an award to and why? Let us know in the comment section. And with that being said, let's move on to the last segment.
All right. So for the last segment, sometimes in movies you hear a line or you see a scene that's like that really sticks with you for whatever reason. And basically we had to pick and choose once again those scenes or those lines and basically add them to our very own personal dictionary. Yeah. Basically lines that we thought were funny, or like well said or like foreshadowing or whatever. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
Then
Okay.
go.
So the line I went with is a line that I found both funny but also deep in a way. I'll explain why. So basically, I went with the line where Schmidt says, "Guys, help him out. He's black. He's been through a lot." And I mean, it was in a funny setting because it was like during the weekend where like Ice Cube was literally having an aneurysm because of the whole Schmidt and his daughter thing.
Yeah.
But like for me, it also suggests, like the fact that like, black people are known to like face more challenges and like racism and discrimination. And it's like it in a sense it is funny, but it also shows that you should like be empathetic towards like people like me and people like us. And like for me it's just like it was a good line. I liked it.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
What about you?
Any more? Oh,
No, I
okay,
just want
well,
one. I
there
thought
are
we only had to do one.
no, not one. As much as you want, because, basically. Anyways, there's one that I really like that I literally have been using it unironically to like do small talk because I think it's so funny. And it's basically when Schmidt is said, so do you like the weather? Because I feel like that's like such a weird way of say like talking to someone. Like, what do you mean? Anyways, that was one. And like I said previously, there's a lot of audios that I heard in the movie, or like think lines that I heard in the movie that I've heard on TikTok, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really cool for me to like actually see the context. And one
Mm-hmm.
of them is basically when Ice Cube says, "Come on, what are y'all doing? Y'all rationing around here?" When he's like taking the food.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that was so funny. And obviously the "My name is Jeff." What an iconic line.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was an
so
iconic
clever.
line.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I do have like some like funny moments that I captured that I think were like worth a mention.
Macau.
Okay, so well, yeah, one of the funny moments was my name Jeff. Like we said, my name Jeff. um. Okay, yeah. The one thing that I thought was like a bit ironic is like, in the beginning when they went into like 22 Jump Street for the first time and they said like, um, look at Dixon's office. Looks like a giant cube of ice. Get it?
Oh, yeah.
Because the actor is Ice Cube. Like, look at his giant cube of ice.
Yeah.
And then another one was, dude, I'm so sorry for being an homophone.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Again,
And
Channing Tatum.
And I mean, okay, and the last one is like a two-liner. It says, it's two people. It says, "We jump straight and we're about to jump in your ass." And it was like, right in the crack.
Right in the crack. Yes.
That
Honestly,
was so
the
funny.
most iconic thing ever. After "My name is Jeff," of course. Let's not
Yeah.
no debate.
Yeah. So that was funny. Well, anyways, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this episode today, and we hope that you will be back next week to listen to a new one. And in the meantime, Kes has something to ask.
So, which Jump Street location do you think you would do a good job undercover in? See you next time at the movies. Bye
Bye.
bye.